Now that we've done an inspection on the bike, we know what's going on with it. We know its ins and outs. Plan is to just put it on the market, sell it as a dirt bike. Get the bikes moving through the shop so that we can get on to bigger and better projects. Kind of like this one. Okay, Mototubers, I want to give you guys a quick update on this 09 Sportster 1200. This is a fuel-injected motorcycle, and we have finally came to a decision and a conclusion on the damage done to the rear cylinder of this bike from the bolt that went through it. So, the jug, turns out the jug's perfectly fine. Had it mic'd, had it checked, it's good to go. We know the rocker box location where the rocker arms are here is totally good to go. Push rods are just fine. Now getting down to the nitty gritty here, the head. Thankfully enough, these valves didn't break. The valve guides inside, they're still good to go. The piston area where the piston compresses into the valves and creates the explosion, there was a slight bit of damage, but not to the valve seats, nor to the spark plug area, or any other vital or critical part. We can replace the gasket here, do a little bit of cleaning up inside the chamber here without touching the valve seat area. Go ahead and throw new valves in it, and we'll be good to go there. Here's both the valves. Turns out they were bent. The larger valve is going to be for your intake valve. The smaller valve is going to be for your exhaust valve. Both of these are bent. We're getting new ones. Keep it up in the upper end. These are called beehive springs. We have 2 beehive springs that are the valve springs. These are perfectly good to go, no damage, and we'll be replacing all the gaskets and all the seals that are needed throughout this. Moving back down to the jug, the piston was completely fried. Showed you guys that. So new piston, new rings, no damage to the cylinder. Go ahead and throw that in, we'll be good to go there. So that's where we're at on this 09 Sportster. I'm gonna get back into working on it, and up next is gonna be taking off the sissy bar. All right, let's get to it. Every once in a while, a bolt gets stuck. Gooed on from miles of use, never being adjusted, touched, tightened. You don't want to strip them out, which is always what you're trying to avoid in this situation. So slow, steady movement. Always spray it down with some kind of lube. And eventually, you'll get it freed up. bike hasn't been cleaned in years. Probably the entire 11,000 miles has never been cleaned down in this area. Well, that's why we're here. Well, I just finished up the rear end on this Sportster. I took the sissy bar off, took these chrome extra pieces off here. I think it looks a lot better, more clean. Normally I'd clean up the rear end, tighten all this up with a lay down license plate kit and some LEDs or something, but I'm gonna leave this bike pretty stock. So we're done with that. Got the parts for this rear piston and valves on order. So we're just waiting for those parts. This bike's gonna sit for a little while until those parts get here.
2,000 years later.
Well, I've got that smoothed down about as good as it's gonna get. Real happy with it. There's no sharp edges. None of the valve seating area has been touched. Let's go ahead and pull this thing apart now. Ordered a piston, but it was the wrong one, so the project kind of came to a standstill. But we've got the head all cleaned up. You guys saw that earlier. It's ready, prepped to go. New gaskets arrived. All the new parts. We've got our exhaust valve and intake valve there. Gonna make sure and get those seated correctly. All new gaskets. We are going to be lapping the valves into the head here. So let's go ahead and get to it. Once you're done with the intake side, go ahead and rotate the head so you can access the exhaust side. That'll be your smaller valve. You're going to repeat the same exact process. Apply a thin coat of valve grinding compound to the underside of the valve. Spin it with your tool until the valve is seated correctly. What that'll look like and feel like is different on every head. You just got to learn how to get the feel down. After you've done this a while and you've practiced on a few of these, you'll understand. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, once you're done doing that on both sides, you want to go ahead and clean them both with parts cleaner and do an inspection of the edge and make sure that it's nice and clean. Spray these down with parts cleaner, clean off your valves real good, make sure there's no compound left over, no residue or chunks inside of here. You want to get it really clean before you put it back together. Once you've done that, go ahead and install your valves, valve springs, and compress them using your valve spring compressor tool. It'll look like something like this. And you're done with your head, ready to rock and roll and get onto the piston. Alright, so thanks for watching MotoTubers. I hope you guys learned something. It's pretty simple to do, and I tried my best to just keep this a straight up how-to visual video. Hope you guys liked it. Give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment below.